Hi everyone, thanks for joining me in my art corner. My name is Kathy. Today we'll be working on tutorial part 6. Ink and watercolor painting of cozy fox and blackberries. Images from the workbook by Sarah Simon, Flowers, Feathers, and Animal Friends. I will be adding the step-by-step instructions for each part on the screen, so you will be able to reference the steps as you paint. You will need brushes round number 1 and 4, waterproof ink, a Sharpie ultrafine point, or another waterproof pen you can use, such as the Micropen Fine Liner ink pens. You can get them on Amazon, and smooth watercolor paper. You will also need a tissue or paper towel to blot the paper, add highlights, and remove too much water or color from your brush or paper, as well as a container of clear water. I have already inked in the flowers and the blackberries. I have left the fox in pencil. I will demonstrate adding fur to the fox, which will add dimension and realism to the fox. You can download the ink catching techniques handout from my Dropbox. After I've completed the fox, we will move on to add watercolor to the flower, blackberries, and the fox. Here's the suggested color palette: Perylene Maroon, Golden Oxide of Chromium, Leaf Green, Pea Green, Olive Green, Payne's Gray, Perylene Violet, Blush, Yellow Ochre, Chocolate Brown, Ivory Black. I will not be using these exact colors. I will be using the closest colors that I have in my color water palette. Remember to stay tuned to the end for a pro tip. Okay, let's get started. So I will start by adding fur to the fox. Then, we'll add watercolor. After the watercolor dries, I will go back and add any finishing touches in ink I feel the drawing needs. If you like what you see, please hit the like button. Just that one little thing really helps out my channel. And leave a question or comment. I would love to know what you think and what you like to see on the channel. Also, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell, so you get notification of my next tutorial, which will be adorable bunnies and blooms. Okay, that's enough for now. We will move on to the blackberries, flowers, and leaves. 1. Starting with the upper right blackberry, wash in clear water. Leave the leafy sepals dry or in reserve. Dab in the wet Payne's gray at the top of the berry. Then perylene violet around the edges. Wash the other berries in clear water. Add in the colors of Payne's gray, perylene violet, and perylene maroon in the wet, working your way up to the top of the berry. You can, at the bottom of a couple of the berries, add a touch of very transparent olive green to indicate that they are less ripe. Alright, I forgot to record the process of painting the flowers. So, I went back, redrew a couple of flowers at a larger size, and recorded adding in the painting onto the flowers. Here are the instructions. 2. For the flowers, wash 2 or 3 petals only in blush, leaving the rest of the petals dry in reserve. Wash the center of the stamens in yellow ochre, add wet near the stamens. 2. Add a shadow. Repeat the rest for the flowers. Number 3. Start with the top left leaf. Wash the leaf in clear water. Add alternating colors of perylene, maroon, golden oxide of chromium, leaf green, pea green, and olive green, and dab these colors into the wet area. As you work towards the base of the leaf, add in Payne's gray at the base of the leaf. Repeat these steps for all the leaves. Number 4. Making sure that the flower's leaves and berries are dry. Wash the vines in oxide of chromium and olive green. Then wash the leafy sepals in olive green. As you can see, I'm adding color to the leaf veins too. This is just a personal choice. Number 5 for the fox. Wash the leftmost part of the fox in clear water. Add wet dabs of golden. Continue to paint in a circle around the fox's body. Leave the fox face dry or in reserve. Once you reach halfway down the fox's tail, stop adding clear water. The end of the fox's tail will be left the white of the paper. Number 6. Add small horizontal brush strokes at the end of the tail with chocolate brown. 7. At the boundary where the white of the tail and the golden color meet, add wet dabs of chocolate brown and ivory black to deepen the edge. Once the fox is dry, wash the face in clear water. Reserve the area where the face tucks into the shoulder. Leave dry, small areas inside the ears. Add wet dabs of the color golden. body of the cozy fox dry, I'm adding more of golden around the fox's body to deepen the color to add the illusion of depth and contours to the fox's body. Once the face is dry, add a wet and dry ivory black line to the outer edges of the ear. I'm adding some Payne's Gray to the inside of the ears and around the edges of the face to add shadowing. This is personal preference. I'm continuing to use a glazing and layer technique of the color golden to add contrast and depth. I felt like the blackberries need to be darker, so I'm adding more violet and maroon, and in some place a little oxide of chromium, where I want to show that some berries are less ripe. It's up to you how light or dark you want your berries. This is the advantage of starting your painting lighter, you can always go darker. Also adding in a little extra color to the leaves. Now, to finish up the painting, I'm going to ink in highlights, texture and dimensions to the leaves, the flowers, and some more fur to the fox. You can add as little or as much as you want. And there we have it. I love the fox all curled up, surrounded by the blackberries. This painting has a very fall vibe. It reminds me when my dog Sally used to steal raspberries from our raspberry bushes. Alright, now for the pro tip. Re-wet the edge. If an edge has dried too sharply, gently re-wet it with a clean brush and soften it by blending it into the surrounding area. Be careful not to scrub too hard, as this can damage the paper. I could have used this technique a little more on the Fox 4 blending. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you join me next time for the bunnies and blooms. Please hit the like button to help out my channel and the bell so you get notifications for my next video. Have a wonderful day and happy painting.